Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the new promo images for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. With that being said, warning of spoilers, and let's jump right into this. So around 30 promo images have been released recently between a combination of Entertainment Weekly and IGN. These seem to be mainly character portraits, and I'm kinda surprised that we haven't gotten them earlier on. Now, I'm unsure if it's just me being impatient or if AMC's actually just releasing less promo images and sneak peeks than they were last year or the year before. I mean, I've seen a few angles for clips of Season 8 that happened during commercials while Fear the Walking Dead was airing, but we haven't even gotten a second trailer yet, and hopefully we get something soon, maybe some more promo images, but for now let's just go ahead and look through all the character portraits. Alright, so first off we get a photo of Aaron in a van, and it looks like he's staring at something in his mirror. What is Aaron doing here? Is he on some sort of side mission? We get a second image where Aaron looks to be aiming through an assault rifle, so what is he aiming at? Aaron has been a more important character over the last season or so, and I really do think that he's stepping up to be one of Rick's main right-hand men. He may go through quite a few story arcs this next season because a lot of people feel that his boyfriend Eric may finally meet his demise, but regardless of if that happens or not, I do feel like Aaron will be way more important this season on the front lines, and I don't actually think that he's going to die. Next up, there's an image of Carl pointing a gun at the camera while he's leaning against a tree. Now, I've seen a lot of speculation about this having something to do with Carl in the new beginning when he meets up with the Whispers, but I just don't see that being the case. And, you know, so for the 100th episode, they're doing sort of homages back to the first episode where scenes look alike. I don't even think this is really that. I don't think that they're foreshadowing anything here. I think that it's just a straight up coincidence. Moving on, we get a few images of Carol and Daryl together, and I'm glad to see that we're getting more action between them. The first two images show Daryl walking alongside his bike while Carol has a rifle, and the second two images are just them on their own with the camera more zoomed in. I assume that these images are them heading out to go do their mission alongside Tara and Morgan, where they get that huge horde of walkers and train them towards the sanctuary. I'm unsure of how much Carol and Daryl will see in the next season aside from this beginning mission of them with Tara and Morgan, but I hope to see a lot more because I love the chemistry between these two characters and the actors just do such an amazing job. I'm really excited to see more of it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and look at the character portraits for Dwight, Eugene, and Negan. It seems like they have their own photos while they have a few together as well. So for Dwight's, we see him smoking a cigarette and looking kind of unsure about things, and I feel like that'll pretty much be his expression for most of the war. He seems to be taking a step back and playing both sides, waiting to see which one is going to win and choosing that side. Eventually, I feel like he will have to prove himself to Rick and the rest of the survivors, but we now know that even Negan isn't telling him everything because Dwight didn't know that Jadis was going to turn on Rick and everyone in the Season 7 finale. As we know, at the front gates of Alexandria, Daryl actually found a little army man doll that was from Dwight's room, and on the back it says "didn't know." This implies that Dwight didn't betray them as he wasn't informed as to what was actually going on, and we see in the Comic-Con trailer that Dwight gets a note saying tomorrow, so it seems as though Rick and group are still informing him as to when they're planning on attacking Negan. But what exactly will Dwight do about all of this? Will he maybe inform Eugene and try and convince Eugene to double-cross Negan alongside him? Eugene seems to be fully drinking the Negan Kool-Aid, but he only wants to be safe. You know, it's not like he truly believes in Negan's way of life. He just wants to be safe and protected and have luxuries, and if Negan starts subtly threatening him again or getting suspicious of him, then Eugene may want to change his alliance once again. Moving on, next up we have a character portrait of Enid sitting on top of a car, and she actually kind of looks a lot like Rosita here, but that's just me. So even though Enid seems prepared to fight in this war, and in the Season 8 trailer we saw her talking to Aaron telling him to bring her with him, she still has issues of pulling the trigger. We see this when they go and attack the Oceanside community during the second last episode of Season 7, episode 715. We can see just how much she is shaking under pressure when she was contemplating whether or not to shoot the Oceanside leader. Alright, so next up we get a promo image of Ezekiel walking confidently through the woods, and although he seems confident here, I feel like that isn't exactly an accurate representation of Ezekiel going into all-out war. Yes, he says things such as trust the king in the Season 8 trailer, but I'm actually genuinely worried for Ezekiel in all-out war. Feel free to check out my other videos for more information on that. But let's go ahead and jump to Father Gabriel, as he's actually going to be playing a fairly important part during the beginning of Season 8. They really seem to be mixing around Father Gabriel's story, especially for Season 8, considering that he's now a soldier and really wants to pitch in and help. Although he wanted to help in the comics, he was way more of a background character and was really not that important during All Out War. Now I'm really interested in seeing the situation that he gets put in with Negan, and with that being said, I'm actually unsure if he's going to come out of the war alive. This character has had such a 180 throughout the entire show, and especially after the last season with the whole him getting kidnapped by the junkyard people and all of that, I've really grown to love his character, and I'm really worried for him. I feel like they're just gonna rip him out from under us right when we love his character the most. Moving on to Gregory, there's actually an image of him looking down menacingly from a balcony, and it seems like he's back at the hilltop, but Maggie is clearly running things now. Did he end up meeting with Negan? I'd go into more here, but I actually have a full prediction video about Gregory going into Season 8 up on my channel, so feel free to check that out for some Gregory discussion. But yeah, this guy's a piece of crap, but I love his actor. He does such an amazing job, and I'm really excited to see him in Season 8. And next up, we get Jadis standing in front of her junkyard area. Not to say that I think she's a bad character, but I definitely think that she could have been brought up in a different way, or at least in a better way. But with that being said, her character still has a lot of potential, and with her apparently capturing Rick at the beginning of the season, that'll be really interesting to see unfold, as I just honestly have no clue as to how that'll even happen. It's completely original from the comics, and I really enjoy when they actually make something original in the show and do it good, so I'm really hoping that this is an example of that. Next up is a photo of Jesus, and it looks like he's climbing up a ladder to get to the top of the walls of the hilltop. Now I really feel like Jesus has been underutilized so far in the show, and I'm really expecting a lot more from him. Not to say that he's disappointing by any means, I really do enjoy his character, but I want a lot more action scenes by him. He's a freaking ninja in the comics, and yes, I want them to keep the show realistic, so I don't want to see him like jumping around doing things that aren't possible, but I really want to see him kick some ass. He has an excellent dynamic with Maggie, along with all the characters at the hilltop, or just in the Alliance in general, and he's really the person that brought everyone together here. I feel like we'll continue to see a lot of counseling between Jesus and Maggie, as Maggie really takes charge in this war as one of the main leaders. During one of the previews for the season, we get a great conversation between her and Rick, and we also get a pretty sweet preview of her speech during the Season 8 Comic-Con trailer. And speaking of leaders, we get two pretty sweet shots of Michonne and Rick together, the first being an action shot of them with their signature weapons, Rick with his pistol and Michonne with her sword, while the second one is a more close-up photo of them staring out at something, looking a bit concerned, but together nonetheless. There's also another character portrait each of both Michonne and Rick. Michonne's just standing there in the same clothes, while Rick is once again holding out his pistol. And we actually get two new images of Morgan as well. One shows him just standing there with his fighting stick, while the other actually shows him training with it on a dock in the middle of a lake. Now, is this lake area the same forest where we see Morgan going crazy and trying to fight Jesus? I actually have a full video about that on my channel, but I'm very interested about Morgan going into Season 8, especially after what his actor said on the Talking Dead Season 8 preview special, so I'm going to be dedicating another video to Morgan's character here in the near future on the channel, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, although we only get one image of Rosita, she looks like she's ready for shit to go down. She's holding up a pistol, aiming at something, and she's wearing her classic hat. Now, I wonder if she's actually learned her lesson here for what happened to Sasha, or if we're actually going to see her become more depressed, or even lash out, or do something maybe not so smart again. I really hope not. I really hope that we get the last of Rosita going rogue and we instead see her learn how to control her temper, and I would actually like to see her redeem herself this season somehow. Now, the next image shows Michonne, Carol, Maggie, and Tara walking down train tracks together, very reminiscent of the Road to Terminus, but I don't actually believe that we've seen these four characters together doing anything specific yet, so do they actually go on a mission together, or is this just strictly a character portrait? And I think the same can be said about the next photo with Tara of her in the woods as well, where it's just a character portrait. We may not necessarily see this exact scene in the show, but they just wanted to throw something together for us. And finally, I'd like to circle back to the photos of Negan, because I didn't exactly finish covering them as I sort of drifted off about Dwight and Eugene. So finally, yes, we have the two images of those three characters together, but we also get a few images of Negan alone. One is of him standing on the staircase at the entrance to the sanctuary, while the other one is him standing in front of the main gates. Now, if you'd like to hear me discuss more about what Negan's plans are going to be going into All Out War, along with Rick as well, definitely check out the channel where I have other prediction videos discussing the first few episodes of the season, along with specific situations and characters as well. But the last person that we actually get a character portrait of is none other than Simon. So aside from Dwight, Eugene, and Negan, Simon is the only other savior that we actually get a character portrait of. It seems like he's going to be a more important character during Season 8, as he is Negan's right-hand man, and I really hope so, because I love the actor Stephen Ogg. I loved him in Better Call Saul. I love him as Trevor in GTA 5. He's sort of like Michael Mando, where you can just put him wherever and he'll do good, so I really hope that we get a lot more of Stephen Ogg, or rather Simon, in Season 8, and if they do kill him off, make it epic, make it awesome, make it not forgettable, you know? And speaking of which, the final image that we got is actually a full All Out War wallpaper starring all the main characters that we just saw in the promo images. I think that it was great, but I really thought that we should have gotten these earlier, and I really hope that we get more promo images in the near future as well. How do you guys feel about the show going into Season 8? Definitely let me know about your own theories and opinions down in the comment section below. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future. Check out my Patreon if you'd like to take that extra step in helping support my content, as I've just now got it officially set up and running. I love creating content like this, but YouTube can be very time consuming and it's almost like a full-time job, so I'd appreciate anyone who would go over there and check it out, but it's not necessary by any means. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.